All right, Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here with Benji, Mikael Salo from Metal de Facto. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to meet everyone's watching.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the band, the album, everything else, two questions for you guys. First, Salo, you got a haircut.
Yes.
You look like a member of a boy band.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was not on purpose, actually. Like my barberer, not conqueror, but barberer. I told her that, hey, I would like to have some levels in my hair, so it's not like same kind of everything stops at the same place. You know?
Not some layered,
like
some layered cuts or something.
Layered cut, but don't take any length away. And she was like, yeah, okay. And then she took like 20 centimeters off. So, yeah. I was like, okay, well, you know, this is the autumn look now.
Yeah, well, you can't go back now.
Yeah, you know, we have to do that boy band now with Yanis and Asim. So
I actually cut mine shorter as well, but yeah, that's
autumn.
Yeah,
autumn trend. Trend de facto.
The second question I have is for Benji. I saw some videos that came out this morning of you in the hospital with blood all over your head. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, and it, like, still is kind of weird. Like, there's probably still some big cuts like in my head because we were at Asim's 30th birthday bash. Like, we had a big party, surprise party.
Yeah.
Surprise party for him, and like we went to a few bars and we were just drinking all night. But then when we came back here, like I was obviously like, you know, a bit drunk, and I decided like, yeah, I'm gonna do some parkour and just did some roll into the corner of a brick wall or something, and just like gashed my head open, and there's blood everywhere, and like
basically he ran into a wall.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, shout out to Asim, 30th birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Asim.
30 years.
Oh wow! It sounds like it was a hell of a night.
Yeah, it was fun. But
we were with Gary actually until like 9 in the morning.
Yeah, he stayed quite late.
He's a party animal. That's the secret, how to write time and he, like the stuff.
Well, you know, you spend less time partying with you guys and more time working on time too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because we're running out of time.
Yes,
but that always happens. Like you know, even when we have scheduled stuff to do, it always, you know, someone hits their head in the ER. So.
By the way, I love the Is that Everfrost mugs?
Yeah, that's a. And
this is actually Northern here. The band where I played bass and stuff.
And soon there's going to be a Metal Facto one as well.
Yeah, that's great. So not only you guys are making power metal great again, you're probably making coffee drinking great again.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And that actually is my first question. What did you guys feel that was wrong with power metal that you feel the need to make it great again? Because in order to be great again, that means that it's not currently great.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a catchy line. It's not anything too serious, you know.
I think people
nowadays, many people, I think, forget the concept of humor that it has context.
Yeah,
you know? And it's not like everything, like you say, is like really seriously, you know, attacking what's happening right now or something like that. I would say in Metal de Facto's case, it was more like, you know, we loved bands like Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force in the 80s, and Iron Maiden, and Halloween, and 90s Stratovarius, that kind of stuff. And that kind of production style, you know, the sound that you get, and that kind of songwriting is not really happening right now. And when people say power metal right now, they talk a lot about like very symphonic stuff, and like you have like disco beats and electronic stuff. Like we do that never.
Like because power metal is such a genre where you can experiment with, because like the rules of it are very open, and like that's the whole thing. But the thing is that like
this specific style
when you
is kind of missing. So we want to bring that, and that's what kind of why the tagline also came along as a joke, and it brought us some attention. So that's always good when you're starting band, you know.
And it's
that for sure it got people's attention. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just wanting also to say, hey, you know, like we're gonna do this, and like
we're gonna bring this stuff,
and
like, we're not really out there right now.
We're passionate about this, and like that's our goal is to give that to people.
Yeah,
and say like be very transparent, and you know that like that's our goal. So yeah.
You mentioned a lot about the symphonic elements in power metal now. One of the things that I really enjoy about you guys is the fact that you actually have Benji on keyboards, playing keyboards, versus just having the keyboards piped in as a backtrack. Was that an important factor for you guys? Like, if we're going to have keyboards on the record, we have to actually have a keyboard player versus just having like a backtrack playing keyboards?
Yes,
it's
definitely.
very,
I think like nowadays it's very often that because you have all these tools as a producer and stuff, that you can really like make like the keyboard part of the band is usually like an orchestra, and you change every instrument, and it's usually live. It's it's made by a backing track, and it's kind of forgotten what it used to be, kind of with like bands like Rainbow when they made like Rainbow Rising
with the organs and
stuff. Like that you have a player and you play the track, and like it's an instrument, and that kind of focus, it brings a lot of clarity to the sound as well, to the overall production.
Like hands on an instrument is always going to be different than the same backing track used at every show. And I mean, if you look even back to early power metal, when it was even like England, because you said England Mountain before.
Yeah.
Jens Johansson, like that was a huge part of that sound. So I think keyboards is like live keyboards and playing keyboard in power metal, like that's just such a classic thing that like
yes, and it was a very conscious choice to also in the album productions that we wanted to be keyboard and not like a
because I mean
a lot of layers of different things that cannot be made live by a player.
That's the whole thing, is everything on the album I can play with two hands. There's nothing. With Metal Facto, there's no backing tracks or nothing. Everything has to be sung live, and everything with the keyboards is played just with one keyboard. Like, I mean, obviously today's keyboards you can do more with them, but like it's still what it is. There's no trickery or nothing going on. So
yeah.
How long have you guys been working on the record?
We started, I would say, the band kind of formed in late 2017 and early 2018. So last year we started kind of working, and I think it took a while. It took like 1 year, the whole process of songwriting and production. But I think that was kind of natural, organic process because it was a new band. You have new people. You don't know how people work. You don't have the band's sound still pinned down. Like it's kind of moving to different directions and it kind of evolves. And that's why it took a while. But I'm glad it did because we're really happy with the album. Like it sounds like a band album. It's
very organic. Yeah.
And I know that the next album, because now we know each other, of course, and we have kind of a style, which of course we can expand upon, but we have the core elements there. So now with the next album, we can really like make a focused effort and get it much faster out. So I think it's going to be out maybe even next year could be possible actually.
Wow! So
there's so much demo material.
Yeah, we have so much
there,
material, and the thing is because we're new, not that known, so we don't have big tours, booked yet. So it might be that we only do like 1 or 2 runs, and then we already
go back to studio.
Next album, let's grow this.
With this record being a concept record about the Roman Empire, does working on a concept record make the creative process more difficult versus working just on a regular record where you're putting like 10 tracks together, 11 tracks together? Does the fact that it's a concept narrow down your creative process, or does it get it more focused? How does it impact you guys as artists when you're working on it?
For sure.
Just the starting point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I would consider it to be like a concept album in a sense that it has like a story, that you have one song that is one part of the same story. Like Everfrost we did with Winter Rider.
Yeah.
But like in Metal Effect, I would call it a theme album because there's like an overall theme of the Roman Empire and different aspects of that culture, mythology, and the gods of Rome and events and important people and thoughts, like what is the natural world in like naturalist history, like kind of scientific approach. So that would like be a distinction I would make in the beginning. But yeah, you take it.
Yeah, I was just basically saying I think that like with concept albums with metal, like that's such a thing that like many bands do, but like there's a huge difference. But like if you have a storyline, that's hard. Like that's much more limiting, I think.
You have
when you have an actual script,
loads of stories.
Yeah, you have to like that's
in the form of songs.
That's one thing I noticed that like it's okay, like the easiest or like I'm not saying something is bad or something is good or like whatever, but when you're writing for an album, it's like you can think about it like, okay, we're gonna have a concept, an overarching theme, or just throw some songs on an album. But I mean, like with Metal Facto, with the Rome thing, like just like you said, it's you're taking something where there are many different stories that happen there. That's a big span of time, and I think that's what's great. That's what I like about that album because like Conqueror is about like the formation.
Romulus founding myth.
Yeah, the founding myth, and then there's another song about like just about the party culture.
Yeah,
about
toga parties.
And so like
Bacchanalia.
like there's so much to work with, and I love that because you get freedom then to write about all sorts of things, and like
we were not chained to like, oh, now we have to write about this guy's wedding or something. Like we were like, hey, this song sounds a bit like schlagery, so let's make it like Bacchanalia. And this song is like really evil, and it has like big, like choir sense, like. So like, what could that fit? We write about Emperor Nero and the Great Fire of Rome. So it's much more.
Everything comes together.
Much more free to like explore different stuff, and it's really easy to make it like natural, sounding.
Yeah.
There's concept album, you have to plan the whole story, and it can easily go wrong. There's many.
Like that's like, really difficult.
Really good concept albums are really rare. So, in my opinion,
the thing when you have a storyline is yes, it's possible, but like you're gonna be stuck. Like you have to hit certain points and do certain things. So the songs, like maybe it's a limiting thing, or I don't know, but like it's just a different world. But the thing is with Metal de Facto's album, like the
theme album.
Yeah, like having a theme album, that's a big deal. I don't know, like, I guess you could call it a concept of record, but it's
for me, it's easier to make the distinction. It's really not the same. Like it's not like a one story.
Yeah, it's more just having a theme about
like overarching thing.
I mean, once you do this in records
for me, it feels like what I would consider a loose concept album because there's still an overall concept. It just doesn't follow the concept in terms of having a story that starts with the first song and finishes with the last song.
Yeah. Oh, it's a terminology thing.
Yeah.
It's grammar. That's the main thing. It's one story, but it's like several with the same thing. That's the thing. But we're gonna do it for future as well. So every album is gonna have the same format. That we're gonna explore some cultural
part of time and history and
country's history.
But there's so much to work with there because you can go like
anywhere.
Even with road
Finnish album, song about driving a car on a frozen lake.
That's the thing is because I wonder with Metal de Facto if we would ever do a modern history.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. Because that's what with Finland, there's a lot there. So I mean,
another element of the album that I found was that the overall structure of the album had a little bit of an old school feel to it. Like it starts off like really pompous, like really robust, high tempo tracks. Then it dips towards the middle with a ballad, Echoes in Eternity, followed by an instrumental track, Colosseum, and then it starts to pick up speed back again as the album closes. So it has a very old school structure that starts up high, then it dips, and then it finishes off strong again. Was that done on purpose? Like you guys really wanted to capture that old school power metal feel and then decided to incorporate that kind of structure into the record? Or is that just the way the tracks end up being at the end?
Yeah, well, of course, we picked 10 songs in the beginning, that these is going to be the songs. And then we just plan, okay, if you take a journey, like both conceptually and also musically, what is the best kind of most exhilarating ride, You don't want to start with the ballad. Some bands end with the ballad, but we really wanted this last song, Germanicus, to be the last because we love in Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time how it ends with like a big military journey, Alexander the Great, and of course we have the closing words by Maurizio Iacono from Cataclysm and Ex Deo. So that was really okay, that's gonna be the last song. It's perfect there. And then Conquer, of course, the founding myth, and it has a very explosive start.
That's immediately gonna be the first.
That's gonna be the first, And then from there, I think we put not. Fast songs are not right next to each other, so you have you're not gonna have two similar songs right next to each other, but it also had to work thematically. That's why Legionnaires' Oath is right at the beginning. It's it really sets the thing. Okay, the military might of Rome and the oath of the Legionnaires and stuff. It's just an essential base puzzle piece there that it has to come right after there. It's kind of a lot of thinking considering where the songs fit both thematically and musically. But yeah, as you said, I think in the middle, it has a bit of, we give some breather before the end. That was on purpose, so you don't get fatigue from having double bass drum power metal, 50 minutes in a row, and then end with a ballad, and then it's that
And that's part of it.
Have worked. That's this album, I think. In my opinion.
I think that's just part of like, you know, because you said about how like that's, you know, going back to old school, because like in power metal, that's kind of like there are certain staples that a lot of bands did. You know, there's like Gatherum was perfect for the last song because they like, you know, this longer song with story that's classic. Doing a ballad is classic. You know, doing fast stuff like whatever. Like that's another reason I think that like things are where they are. You know.
Yeah.
Going into the ballad, Echoes in Eternity, really stripped down ballad, in my opinion, is really carried by the vocals, by your vocals, Salo. Is doing a song like that difficult? A song that you don't have a lot of support around you, so it really you're the driver, and everybody else is just the passenger on a track like that. So there's no room for you to hide anything because you're on the forefront all the way through. Is a song like that more difficult than let's say The Conqueror, for example?
I would say yes. It was actually the first song we recorded vocals for, and we had a session in a studio booked with Esa, and actually we didn't get anything that we could use on the first session, and I felt really down by it because, as you said, it's actually because the production is very like naked. You know, there's nothing to hide behind. Then like it does create this thing that even small like you fall out from the emotion, or you technically you get a small glitch, then you have to take it again. It's already ruined. It's very meticulous kind of singing, both technically and emotionally. You really need to get into the head of, you know, the person we're talking about in that song. And actually, it was funny. Atte, our drummer, said that it was the hardest song to drum because like there's nothing to do, so you have to like everything has to be thought. What you do, like it's really important. You can't do like like in the middle, and then you like drop out of the concept. Like what happened? You know, it's really important for the, you know, kind of world building that happens, you know, in the song.
It's always when you have to record something that's delicate and has space, and you're naked.
Like your mellotron in the song as well.
Yeah, like it's really cool. Kind of funny. Like it's very simple, that part, but just like it took again a few takes to get just like the one that's good, because there's so much room to mess it up. That's the thing.
There's really nothing to hide anything, so everything, any little mistake becomes so noticeable because it's such a stripped down track.
I mean, people who drum, like I remember hearing like people who play and drumming in like doom metal bands or funeral doom or like whatever, like that is apparently, like you would think playing slow is easy, but it's apparently so exhausting because you need so much mental capacity and focus to keep that slow. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Were you guys shocked with the reception that you had for the video, The Conqueror, and the single? Like that song seems to have blown up. Were you guys shocked with the reception at all, or you knew that was going to be the best first single for you guys to get the foot in the door?
Well, we're of course indie musicians, so we're not used to ever having any attention when we do anything. But this time, definitely, it's the most viewed music video we have ever made. You know, it passed Everforce.
It surpassed Everforce
a while back. The most viewed video, and in Spotify it's doing great as well. It got into Nuclear Blast's like editorial playlist in Spotify, which was cool. So definitely, we were positively surprised by that. And it's really nice to get some attention. You know,
I mean, it's just great to see.
It sounds bad, but you know, every musician wants some attention to their art. You know, because we worked for years on this stuff. You know, every artist does on their albums. So whenever someone comments or something like, "This is cool, I love this," you know, it makes you really feel good.
It's great to know that, you know, like people around the world, that, you know, like something you did is like making their morning a bit better or something.
Yeah,
that's why
enjoy something you do.
Yeah, like well, with whatever it is, like, you know, like that's what one thing. One of the most things I love about doing music and being in bands, you know, and making like writing songs and, you know, being a part of that. Yeah. So it's great to see that. And it's funny, I think that so many people say, oh, you know, you're just doing this for the views, or like you're just doing this like for, it's always like for the views. But the thing is, well what else for? Because like that's, you want to get your stuff out so people see it. So of course you like, you need people to see it, you know.
And it was funny because we had like no budget for the first music video, like nothing. So we used connections from the band to get to the, like the, we're in top of a store called Verkkokauppa in Helsinki. Yeah, it has this like fighter jet. And I was like, what can we make that's cool and we get for free? And we have a drone. My brother has a drone, we could film some aerial things. What would look cool? Like, fighter jet. And
And it just
people
happened.
are complaining in YouTube, like, like
the
about
fire jet is a fire jet.
Yeah, you know.
So,
And it was a really misty morning. That was just like, chance.
Yeah.
And like they told us, I think we were told like, do not go on it. Like don't climb up there. But then next minute, like somebody was pushing me up on the thing. You know.
Yeah, like
So, yeah.
don't go on the fighter jet, and then they leave. Asami's like, we have to do this.
Yeah, just get up there now. You know.
So the fire jet is actually a real fire jet. It's not like photoshopped or anything like that.
It's real jet.
You can go see it if you visit Helsinki next time. It's in the harbor, and it's a Russian MiG-21. So it was used during the Cold War. That was the active serving period of that fighter jet.
Oh wow!
And you can check out Verkkokauppa at the same time because it's like as they're saying, it's most likely cheaper there.
Todennäköisesti halvemmin. We want your sponsorship, Verkkokauppa.
So that was the first single. Now the approach, the release of the album, the date is approaching fast and furious. Are you guys planning to release any more singles before the release date, or release singles after the release date? Like, what's your schedule like?
Yes, we have next single is dropping on 1st of November, and that's also when we're gonna announce our first show, our first album release, like a launch show. So look forward to that, November 1st.
Can you tell folks which single is it?
Yes, it's going to be for Jupiter from the album, The Ascending of Jupiter. So the track list is already public.
Yeah, the track list is available.
It's 9th song, and it's a very fast song.
Yeah.
It's like the fastest song on the album.
Yeah.
And we wanted kind of, because Conqueror is very, I would say it's most safe from the heavy songs. It's not too fast, and it's kind of, hooky, catchy melody. But this one, we wanted, like, now we're going to show, like, what we can do. Because this is one of the songs, together with Colosseum, I would say, where the band is, like, really on the edge, of their skills all the time. Because it's really fast. And we didn't edit that much. It's very organic playing that we recorded. And like, it was fun to see when, like, Sami, who's, like, of course, super professional. He's played million shows with Ensiferum. Like, he was, like, really, like, God damn, it's not good enough, and he was like playing like and doing his best. And I love that we got those tracks. People like doing their best and using their skills, and not just pushing the computer to put everything on place.
It pushes you to get it right.
Yeah. And you can hear it in the sound. It's not completely like super on the grid, as they say. Like everything is super edited to be like exactly the right time. But you can hear it's played by humans, but it's still tight. But it's kind of organic, and that makes a lot of heaviness come out.
It's raw.
Used to happen with the older albums. Once again, what we're talking with this,
you get this rawness from
production style, more heavy metal sounding power metal, I would say, maybe, like Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force, Walls of Jericho by Halloween, that kind of stuff.
It feels a little bit like off the rails, like that. It's just enough that it gives you that edge. It's like this is like crazy, but it's all there. But it's just a little bit like.
It's funny because we have this instrumental, which is very the Colosseum, which is very inspired by Yngwie and Stratovarius, and there's like this part where like the band just falls over. Like,
everything goes. Everything just.
Everyone
everything just goes. Like
and everyone mikä se on niinku spontaanisti
like when it was done, it's just like spontaneous, improvise and spontaneous.
Improvise this thing, and it became like such a cool thing, and we were like, holy shit, this sounds cool. Oh, it's like a chariot falling.
Yeah, it's a chariot crash.
When they're like going like, it sounds exactly like that, and that's why we chose that. Oh, this is about Colosseum, the instrumental, like the games and gladiators and stuff that happened there.
We always call
it's really cool how this improvisation and spontaneous musicianship kind of inspired like us to like, okay, this is about this, it talks to us like this mental image of like Colosseum and chariots and games and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like I think we even call that part the chariot crash because it's just like it's so perfect for the.
And I need some voice acting for it.
I have two more questions for you guys. One question is, if you guys ever do an album, let's call it concept, regardless loose concept, regardless of the grammar, let's call it concept. If you ever guys do a concept album about Japan, about samurais, whatever the case might be, would you guys consider having Salo do a track in Japanese?
Yeah, well, actually, in Everfrost, we already did one song where I sang in Japanese, like cover.
And there's going to be
that's one of the most successful songs in like Spotify plays and stuff.
And we're gonna do another one actually soon.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
not,
Everforce we're doing because we have the anime manga thing there.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's very
so
natural.
important.
But in Metal Facto, yeah, definitely. If we would make an album about Japan, I think that would add a lot of personality.
You can do it
to add some Japanese in there.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
And like,
I think it would add some flavor. It would add some authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we do want to do a Japanese one at some point.
That would be cool.
So, yeah. Like, but I think it's gonna be totally different than like I think because Japan, like there's so much history there. Like you could go.
Yeah, that's a vast big.
You can really choose. It's gonna be interesting to see how we do that one, but like it's like I mean because you can do it, so like we might as well.
And I'm really expecting to do the Canadian album.
There's not much history here. I think that would be an EP.
It's okay. Canada
EP.
Yeah, we would just call it Canada. Like,
it would be a really short EP, like a 3-track EP.
Yeah, maple syrup.
Beavers, mooses, and maple syrup. That would be your 3-track.
And the last track is Tim Hortons Coffee.
Yeah. You definitely have to include that. Having said that company now is owned by a Brazilian conglomerate, so they're not very Canadian anymore.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Everything solo like the Brazilian.
Yeah. Like it still.
So the last question I have for you guys is you touched a little bit on this, and that's live shows. I know you're going to announce that release party for the album, but as you look forward to after the album comes out, are you guys looking at doing perhaps a small tour in Finland, a couple of live shows throughout the year? Like what are your plans, and perhaps more important, what would you like to see happening?
Yeah, well, we have a touring agency in Finland called Full Steam Agency, they're really cool. And the first show they organized, like, it's so nice when you have professionals working with you, for the first time ever, because we're such like small indie musicians. We're not used to that, and it's really cool to see it because we're just used to working ourselves, on everything.
It's really,
and they have like Beast in Black and stuff on their roster, so like it's a really nice company. And in the States, we have Continental Concerts USA as a touring agency, which does Iced Earth, which is freaking cool shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
But European one is missing.
Yeah,
and that's the main market for metal bands. So that's really important to secure before we can actually really start planning properly. And I think Japan might happen already next year.
Yeah, but
there's been some talks about that. So
the thing is because yes, it's possible to organize your own shows and like do it and like they always like if you look at so many indie bands things, they say like yes, you have to go and make your own tours. You're gonna lose money and you're gonna do this. But the thing is like it just gets to a point where it's like, can you do this and put on a show that is going to be like worth it for people to see? Yeah. I think that's the question. Like, it's
like you can get like these bars booked if you want.
It's like play in a corner or something.
But if we want this metal de facto, extravaganza like Rome and stuff, epic metal with 6 members on stage.
Yeah, it's a lot of
running like crazy when we. Like, if you see the first music video, like, it was funny because, like, the stage was so small, but we moved a lot. So we, like, hit each other, like, probably 100 times,
Yeah, and
like, I turned and, like, hit Sami in the face with my shoulder or something. And then after the video, she's like, sorry about that, man. But it looks cool on video.
And it's like, if I'm going to be flipping around, I'm going to do this again if I hit my head with the wall because the stage is too small or something.
That would be a good integral part of our show that your head starts bleeding at some point with your wall going red.
Yeah.
I know, it becomes like a gore show.
Yeah. So we have those touring agencies we're working with, and once we secure the European one, then we can really start planning like these like international shows. But for now, we only have the Finnish show booked. But when is this actually coming out, Pedro, this incident?
It'll come out. What day are we recording? We're recording this on Sunday the 27th, so probably the 29th. So in a couple of days, this will be up.
Okay, so I can't tell the first show.
Yeah, not yet. But
yeah, our touring agency guy was like, in November, like November 1st, from there you can reveal that stuff.
Well, so it's just around the corner. You guys will be able to say something around the corner because you have the next single coming on November 1st as well.
Yeah.
Like the news will come out. So
yeah. So.
Well, everybody can stay tuned.
Media, and we will inform you.
That's right.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time today. after a night of partying and injuries. I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and talk about metal de facto. I want to wish you guys all the best. I really, obviously, I heard the album already. I really enjoyed the album. It's a really cool record. A lot of great catchy tunes. What I would say is a perfect power metal album. I really enjoyed it. It brings a smile to your face when you're listening to it because it's so vibrant. It has so much energy. So I wish you guys all the best with this record, and I hope during my next visit to Finland, somehow we get to see you guys play live.
Yeah, definitely. It would be really cool.
We should have A&P-REACTS charity concert.
Yeah.
And
and everybody.
We'll try to organize something, but let's not call it charity. I mean, like. A&P-REACTS show. And just make it very blunt. All profits go to A&P-REACTS. People don't do. We'll just be bluntly honest about everything. Like when bands go on stage and they say, "This is the best crowd ever." Instead of that, you guys would say, like, "This is the worst crowd we've ever seen in our life."
Exactly. We just got word from Pedro, our reporter from Canada. You guys suck. Better in Toronto.
Oh, man, that would be hilarious. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and we'll be chatting soon again.
Yeah. Thanks for the immense support. Thanks for the launch. Our first video, and
thank you. By the way, I forgot about that. Thank you.
In the soccer game. So good luck with that.
All right, man. Take care, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
See ya. Thank you.